Hey guys, it's me, and today we're filming the next installment of my makeup collection series, and today we are going to be tackling face products. And we're not going to tackle like the few face palettes that I have. I only have but 3 face palettes. I'm going to save those for my palette collection and everything, so if you want to see like the 3 face palettes I have, just stay tuned for that installment of the series. But in this particular episode, we're going to be tackling, like I said, my face products. So foundations, concealers, highlighters, blush, bronzers, and I might have singles of, primers, setting products, things like that. I have quite a few trays of these products. So I have some products that are not in trays, which are going to be like prime and setting products for the most part. I think I just have maybe one setting product in one of my trays, which is this tray right here. This one has like pretty much all my foundations in it. There's one highlighter in here. Actually, no, there are 2 highlighters in here, but for the most part, this is just foundations and tint and moisturizers in this tray. Then we have this tray, which has, for the most part, just highlighters, but there is a single bronzer in here, which we'll talk about that once we get there. This tray is nothing but blushes, more specifically cream blushes. And this tray is my concealers, and there's also a color corrector, which we'll talk about that once we get there as well. We are going to be tackling my makeup collection today. I'm super excited to get this taken care of and getting into like the more fun parts of my makeup collection, because I know that first part wasn't really that fun and interesting, but these parts are definitely going to be fun and interesting. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on into my face products collection. But before we do so, if you guys are new here to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, and also while you're down there, definitely give this video a thumbs up because it'll help me out a lot. All my links are down in the description box below, and yeah, let's dive on into this. So I'll start out by showing you guys how I store these products. I mean, obviously I showed you guys the trays that everything is in, but let me show you the drawer that I store everything first. So then we can see just the layout of the drawer. There are some moisturizers that I have in here. I just keep them in here just to keep them off my desk. But yeah, that is how I keep my face products stored. There are some samples in there, as well as a backup of the Mario Badescu Brightening Eye Serum. Those foundation samples in there. I don't know if I'm even going to use them. I think I'm going to declutter them because I've had them for a while and haven't even touched them, so I might just declutter them. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start out with the prime and setting products first, because those aren't that interesting. So the first one that I have, this is I guess it's a mini or maybe a deluxe size of the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas. And I actually got this in a holiday set that I found at Marshall's. And there were 2 different Tatcha sets that I found. I found a set that this one was in, and then there was another set as well. I can't remember what all was in each set, but yeah, this guy was in one of them though. And I do like this primer. It's really nice. It just helps to like smooth out the skin. I put it on today before I put on my tinted moisturizer, and it just smooths out the skin and just feels really nice on the skin. Next up, we have another mini or a deluxe size, I'm not entirely sure, of the Tatcha the Silk Powder. And this again was in one of those sets. And I used this for the first time today, and so I can't really say like how good or bad it is, because I only used it but on the lids and just very lightly under the eyes. And that's all that I did for it, so I can't really say how well it worked because of those reasons. So, but in the future, I do plan on using this and trying it out a bit more, so hopefully then you guys will get a better, I guess, a better review of this, but it feels really nice though. So now we're going to move on into setting sprays. This first one that I have here is one from a brand that I do not support, but I got it in a BoxyCharm and I'm just using it up till it's completely gone, and which it's almost gone. I'm almost done with this guy, and that is the Maven Beauty Rose Water Setting Spray. And it does suck because I actually do like this. I like how it makes the skin look and feel after using it as a setting product, and sometimes I'll even use it just on like my bare skin as well. And I'm just about out of it. I'm down to here with it. So I'm just about out of it, which I'm very happy about because, like I mentioned, I don't support this brand. For those of you who don't know, Maven Beauty is Fashion Nova's makeup brand, and I don't support Fashion Nova in turn not supporting Maven Beauty. Because Fashion Nova, they've done a lot of shady things in the past that I'm just like about. And then next up we have the Dewy Finish setting spray from NYX. This is actually the older packaging of it because they just changed the packaging on this. But I really love this setting spray. I think this is maybe in like my second or third bottle of it. And I really like this setting spray. It doesn't really leave the skin looking dewy, or at least in my opinion, it doesn't leave my skin looking dewy, but it makes it look fresh, which is why I really like it. And then we have the NYX Plump Finish setting spray, and I decided to give this a go because this is one of their newer setting sprays, and I like how it makes the skin look, but I don't know if I just got a faulty spritzer, but the sucker is so intense. Let's go ahead and start tackling this tray here. So the tray that has my tinted moisturizers, foundations, and those two highlighters, which I'll save the highlighters for last because that'll move us into the next tray. Actually, you know what? No, before we even dive into this, let's touch on the concealers first because I only have but 4 of them in this tray here. The first one that I have is technically not even a concealer, it's a color corrector, and this is the Smashbox X Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, and this is in the shade Fair Light, and this is a peach under eye corrector and is very light and very sheer, so all it's going to do is just lightly cancel out the blue tones. All it's going to do is just to lightly cancel out the blue tones on your under eyes and everything if you have dark circles. And I really do enjoy this because it doesn't leave like a peach cast on the skin at all if you go in light enough with it, but it still brightens and color corrects. Because of the fact that I do use that Mario Badescu Brightening Eye Serum, I don't have nearly as bad of issues with my under eye circles, but every now and again, like, things happen and things can get a little bad, so that really helps out. The next 3 concealers in the concealer tray are actually concealers, and we're going to start out with this one. This one is from Fenty, and this is the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Concealer. I have the shade 170, fair with cool pink undertones, and I do like this concealer. Isn't necessarily my favorite, no, but it's still a good concealer. I like the coverage, I like the finish. It's a good concealer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I have the shade Fair Rose. I used to have the shade, I think it was Light Peach, I want to say, or Fair Peach, one of those two, and it was just way too peachy for me, but it did a really great job at color correcting like my darkness on my under eyes. But this guy is a really good like concealer match for my skin tone. It is a little bit too pale for me, but if I were to go in the next shade up, it would be too dark. But yeah, I do like this concealer. I think my favorite concealer is this last one here, and that is from Milk Makeup, and this is the Flex Concealer, and I have the shade Fair. And looking at it in the tube and on the doe foot, you might think that it might be a bit too dark for me, but it's actually a really good match for me, and I really love the formula on this. I love the finish, I like the coverage. Really do like this concealer. So now let's get into the foundations. All right, so this first one that we have here is one that I just recently purchased. I'm debating on whether or not I want to return it or not because I don't know, it was a bit of an impulse buy, but I want to try it out again. But this is the Beauty Bakery Insta Bake Aqua Glass Foundation, and I have the shade 353C. Shade match wise, this is a pretty good match. It might just be slightly too dark for me, but it's so slight and subtle that it's not that noticeable. I want to give this another go. I've only ever used it but once, and I want to try it out again, obviously, because it's just like I want to develop some feelings on it. But I got this from Ulta when Beauty Bakery, no, not Beauty Bakery, this particular product from Beauty Bakery had, I think it was a 5-time point multiplier, which is part of the reason why I'm hesitant to return it, because then I'll lose all those points. At the same time, I am aware of the fact that this was an impulse buy, so I really don't know. I'll probably wind up keeping it and trying it out a bit more, and then if I don't like it, then I'll just rehome it to a friend. Next up, we have another foundation that was a bit of an impulse buy, but I've been wanting to try this out again since I initially tried it, and that was the Fenty Hydrating Foundation. So they are discontinuing this one, but it's because of the fact that they are reformulating it, and this is the original formula. I have the shade 170, and it's a pretty good foundation. I actually like how this one looked on me. When I tried it out when the foundation first launched a few years ago, I had the shade 110. It was way, way too pale for me. But this one is a pretty good match. Again, slightly off, but it's so subtle that it's not noticeable. And I like the coverage. I like the finish of it. And yeah, I think that this looks really good. I think the reason why I didn't like it the first time around was because of the fact that it was just so pale that it made me look really dry. But this time around, it didn't make me look super dry at all. And yeah, I don't know if it's because the shade is a proper match or because I take better care of my skin now. So it could be one or the other. I have a foundation that you can't get anymore, but I found this at TJ Maxx, and this is the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation, and I like this foundation. I've only have tried it out once. I have the shade Alabaster 1C1, and I really like this foundation. It's really nice from the first time that I used it and everything. Want to try it out again, obviously, to further develop some feelings on it. But hey, from what I know, I really enjoyed it the first time around. The next foundation that I actually have two shades in, so that we can make my custom perfect shade, and that is this Smith & Colt Veiled Threat Weightless Micro Blurring Foundation. And I have the shades 120 Cool and 180 Cool. So originally I got 180 Cool off of Ulta when the foundation randomly went on sale about a year or two ago. And it went on sale for like $10 when it's originally $42. So I was like, hey, let me try it out. And the shade is just a bit too dark for me, as you can see. But then when the foundation got phased out at Ulta and it's on sale on Smith & Colt's website, because I think they might be doing away with this foundation, I decided to get the shade 120 Cool from their website. And this one is just slightly too pale for me, but the undertone are correct with both of them. This one's slightly peachier than pink. It's like a peachy pink. This one's straight up pink. But mixing them two together gets my proper shade. And I really do like this foundation. I love the finish. I love how it looks on my skin. Really do like this foundation. Also, by the way, I should probably mention I have very dry skin. So, yeah. That's why I have the foundations that I do. And then we have the Anastasia Luminous Foundation, and I have the shade 130N, which has a neutral pink undertone. And I like this foundation. I think that's really nice. I do find that, like, if you don't have your skin prepped properly, it doesn't look very luminous or hydrating on the skin. It just looks more so natural. So if you want to go for that more like dewy, glowy look with a foundation, make sure that your skin is prepped, if you have dry skin at least. So yeah. But other than that though, I do like this foundation. I do like the color of this foundation as well. Last, so just like the regular foundations that I have, this is my favorite drugstore foundation, and they better not be discontinuing it, and that is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. I have the shade Porcelain, and I'll give you guys like a better view of the color, and it's a pretty good match for me, and I just love this. I love this foundation so much. This is my second tube of it. I love it. And then we have tinted moisturizers. So this first one here, you can't get anymore because Becca doesn't exist, but this is the Becca Light Shifter Dewing Tint. And I found this at TJ Maxx. I have the shade Luminary 1. I was hoping to get Luminary 2, which I thought that I had bought, but someone had swapped the packaging for it. I haven't played around with it since I tried it out last year. Although I just bought this about maybe a couple of months ago. I tried it out last summer when it was on sale for like $15 at Ulta. And I tried it out and I was just like, I like it, but it's so glowy. But this time around, I'm wanting to try it out again and use a setting powder with it and see if I wind up liking it that way. Because back then I didn't want to use a setting powder because my skin was so dry. But now that I take better care of my skin is nowhere near as dry. Like, I haven't had like a significant eczema breakout in a while. So yeah, but really curious about trying this guy out again. Then we have the Fenty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint, and I have the shade 3. And this guy, I don't know how I feel about it. I've used it twice. The first time I didn't like how it looked on my skin. The second time, I liked how it looked finish-wise. But the color, I think, is slightly off because of the neutral undertone. But this is the best shade match for me in this particular tinted moisturizer. But I still want to give it another go as well. I don't know, I'll probably wind up rehoming this soon, because it's like, if I had to prep my skin a certain way to get it to look right on me, and not only that, but this undertone is slightly off as well, I don't know if I'll wind up keeping it, but we'll have to wait and see. And these last two tinted moisturizers are like my favorite ones. And we'll start out with this one because it's my second favorite one of the ones that I have. And this is the Smashbox Halo Healthy Glow All-in-One Tinted Moisturizer. And this one has broad spectrum SPF 25. Yes, 25. I love this guy. It has a bit more coverage than your typical tinted moisturizer. And you can build up said coverage. But it just looks so good on the skin. I love this one so much. I don't know why not a whole lot of people are talking about it, because this is such a great tinted moisturizer. And one of my friends that works at my local Ulta, she really loves this, and she doesn't like foundation at all, but she loves this guy. And then lastly, we have my favorite tinted moisturizer, and the one that I'm wearing today. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator. And I love this guy so much. This is such an amazing tinted moisturizer. It looks like skin. I do have a little bit of highlighter on, and like I use a setting spray today, but that's all that I have on my face besides this guy. Like, it just looks like skin, and it has great longevity. Like, I wore this to my best friend Shelly's wedding, and it lasted the entire night. I love this guy so much. So much. I'm so mad that I forgot to like buy this the day when it was like 50% off during the 21 Days of Beauty that just happened at Ulta, to get like a backup of it. Ugh, I'm so annoyed, but whatever, it's no big deal. The first of the highlighters that I have here, again, can't purchase it anymore because it's by Becca. Again, found this at TJ Maxx. And this is the Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid, and this is in the shade Pearl. And I know that it looks like it might be separating and whatnot. It's just really thick. Then too, it could be a bit old, but I find that it still works totally fine. And I really like this. I like this a lot. I was scared that I wasn't gonna like it that much with it being white, but I wanted to try it out and give it a go. This looks so good. Just use like the bottom of your beauty blender to like pick up the product off like the back of your hand and then pounce it onto the skin, and it looks so natural. It looks like such a natural, healthy glow, and it is wonderful. I really do like this guy, and definitely gonna be keeping it. And then I have a mini of the Milk Makeup holographic stick in Supernova, and I got this from TJ Maxx as well because I had been curious about trying it out, but they only had the full size on Sephora, and I didn't want to get that big one in case if I didn't wind up liking it. But honestly, I'm not mad at it because it actually looks really natural and subtle. It's actually not as like purpley pinky as you might think when you look at it in the tube and whatnot. It's actually quite sheer and very natural looking on the skin. So I actually like this. And I'm not a fan of colored highlighters, but again, like I said, I like this one. Moving on into this tray, which has like highlighters and, like I said, that one single bronzer. We'll start out with the two Becca highlighters, which again, can't get these anymore. But I have this one here. This one is in the shade Opal. And I'll actually swatch these powder products. Call Lord, it's early in the morning, okay? I've been up since about 7. It's 9:38 right now. But this is Opal Swatched. I do think that it's slightly too dark for me, but on the skin though, it actually winds up shearing out a good bit. Hopefully you guys can actually see it quite well. I know, like, with it being early in the morning, a lot of light is shining into my room, but it's really pretty. There we go, you can see it a bit better now. It's a pale gold shade, which I'm not the biggest fan of pale gold shades, but I'm trying to experiment and whatnot. I might wind up rehoming it because, like I said, I don't think that that particular shade flatters me the most, but it's still pretty and the formula is really great. Now this one I am definitely keeping. This one is in Lilac Geode, and I want to say that this was one of the last highlighters that they put out, I want to say. And I know I mentioned that I tend to not like colored highlighters, but this one is so pretty. And I also know I just mentioned that I don't like gold tone highlighters, but again, it's so pretty. Like, it has that lilac base to it and that rose gold shift. It is so pretty, and it actually looks really natural on my skin tone, which I really do enjoy, because I've noticed that rose gold highlighters can actually look a bit nice on me. And then we have two of the Fenty Diamond Bombs. We got How Many Carats and Rosé Rave. Rosé Rave was the first one that I got a full size of, and I've used it a little bit, but I haven't used it nearly as much as I thought I would have, and so I might wind up decluttering it soon. It's a beautiful color, but for me personally, it works more so like a blush topper than it does like an actual highlighter, for my skin tone at least. Whereas How Many Carats, I love this. I'm wearing this on my cheeks today and also on my eyelids, and I love this so much. I originally had like a mini of this, but I went through it all, and when Ulta started carrying Fenty, I immediately got this guy before it wound up being gone forever from their store because it constantly sells out. As to the highlighters that I have, this is a ColourPop Super Shock highlighter. I think that this might have been a limited edition shade, and this is in the shade Guilty Pleasure, which is a rose gold. Again, it looks so pretty on me. It's very similar to Lilac Geode, but it definitely pulls more gold. In my opinion, like, you definitely see more of the gold that's in it. So there's Lilac Geode, and this third one here is Guilty Pleasure. Like, it does have that like pink base, but that gold shift is really noticeable with it. So those are all the highlighters that I have. So now I'm gonna move on into the one bronzer that I have up here, and that is this mini Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in Tintastic. And I really do like this bronzer. It's a very neutral tone bronzer, but I find that it works really good with my skin tone. And one thing that I really love about it is that you can easily sheer it out, or you can build up the coverage with it. And I know I didn't swatch the Diamond Bombs, it's just that I find that the Diamond Bombs don't swatch well. So that's why I didn't swatch them. They work best when they're like on the skin and on the face, whereas swatching them, they just, I don't know, I just don't think they swatch well. And now we have the last tray, which are just these blushes here. And like I said, they're all cream blushes. I'll start out with this one from ColourPop. This is their Super Shock blush in the shade Between the Sheets. And this is a very neutral toned blush. And I love this color on me so much. It's such a beautiful, like I said, neutral tone blush. That is a terrible spot to swatch it, but whatever. But yeah, it's very neutral in tone, very soft, very natural. Love, love this shade. And then the last three blushes that I have are all Fenty cream blushes. I really love the Fenty cream blush formula. I might get another one soon. I don't know. I might not. trying to like restrain myself from buying makeup. But this first one here is the first one that I ever got. It's in Petal Poppin', and it looks gross. It looks gross because I've used it so much, but it's such a stunning color. And you can definitely build up the coverage with these, or you can sheer them out. Because as with me, just like doing like a full-blown swatch of it. But I'll go ahead and sheer it out. And that's how it looks when you sheer it out. Makes it a little bit more translucent, natural looking on the skin. We have Peach Face, which this was a limited edition shade for holiday because they had this in the Resting Peach Face duo, which had this and a Gloss Bomb Cream and Peach Pout. And this is what it looks like in the pan. It looks really like peachy orange in the pan, but on the skin though, it's definitely more peachy. And I find that this one doesn't have the most coverage to it. I find that like it always just winds up shearing out no matter how you apply it, but as you can see, it's very peachy. And the last one that I have, oh wait, no, that wasn't Petal Poppin' that I swatched earlier. That was Summertime Wine. Yeah, that first one was Summertime Wine, not Petal Poppin', my bad. This one is Petal Poppin', which this one looks even grosser than Summertime Wine. So yeah, because like I said, this one was the first one that I ever got. It looks good whether if I build it up or shear it out on me. So, because it doesn't really change that much for me, at least. But Summertime Wine, I do have to shear it out though to make it work for me because of the fact that it is such a dark shade on me. But those were all of my face products, and I got this done in just under 40 minutes. I was about to say under 30 minutes. No, we're at 36 and a half. But yeah, that is it for my face products. I hope you guys enjoyed this installment of my makeup collection series. The next installment is going to be on all of my lip products, which is a problem area for me. I do plan on doing a massive declutter of my lip products soon, so yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed this installment of my makeup collection series, and until I see you guys in my next video and the next installment of this series, goodbye.